Hello and welcome to our very first episode of the Class of Racing. The wonderful world of horse racing, we're all part of that, we know the game, but do we really? That's the question. Well, today we find ourselves at Kenilworth Racecourse in the Western Cape. And we're going to have many episodes coming through over the next couple of months, teaching you, the viewer, the punter, the owner, about the world of horse racing. Today we're going to focus on what happens behind me in the jockey room. The weighing in and weighing out of jockeys, very important. If they weigh out incorrectly or weigh incorrectly, something can happen, you can lose your bet. We're going to talk to the various players, part of that role, the jockey, the trainer, the clerk of scales, and see what they have to say. We chatted with Gareth, who explained the rules of weighing in and weighing out.
The most important job that I have is to make sure that the jockeys have all the equipment that they need to have. That be the girth, single, and the correct lead bag to make the appropriate weight. And the scale obviously needs to be fairly well calibrated, which is done at least every 6 months. And it's all digitally recorded and done through a computer system, and it's recorded up to 1 decimal place. I need to let the jockeys out into the parade ring at least 20 minutes before the schedule of the race. So they would weigh in any time before 20 minutes, and obviously not before a previous race. So any time between one race and the next, at least 20 minutes before the scheduled race time. And the rule has been changed that every jockey in the field weighs, whereas previously only the first 6 place horses would weigh. For underweight, they're allowed to be within a half a kilogram underweight of the weight which they weighed out at, and up to a kilo over the weight that they weighed out, but no more than a kilo over or more than a half underweight.
We're just having a quick look at where these leads actually go in your saddle before the trainer takes the saddle to go out and saddle up in the saddling enclosure. You've got the different weights. One weighs half a kilo, 500 grams, and the others as well. Where do they go? Now, standing with me is jockey Grant van Niekerk. Obviously, what happens, it opens up here and it'll go inside. He's already got some in here for a race later on. Grant, if you could just pull one out and show us and have a look. There we go. That's your same 500 gram, and it goes back into a special pouch on the saddle as well. You've got 2 lots on this side, and depending on the weight that you card it to ride, it'll make a big difference. But that's where it all goes in. It closes up like that, and once you've weighed out correctly, only then does it count for you. So you've got to weigh out at that correct weight and then go out to saddle up at the saddling enclosure. That's what the trainer will do. With regards to weighing in, weighing out with the jockeys, that's for the jockeys to do. How do you as a trainer see the responsibility?
No, I think once I've engaged him, it's pretty much he's in Darber. But having said that, I'm not going to engage a jockey that I know rides only 58 or something if I know the horse is carrying 56. When the noms come out on the Wednesday, generally we engage jocks the same day, maybe the Thursday. But I will know, okay, Carl rides 55, so I'm not going to offer him anything less. But I will say to him, if a horse has got 54 and a half, Carl, can you make the weight? And he'll probably say, no, listen, I'll have to put up half. And then I accept that. That's fine. But what I think most trainers don't enjoy is you get to the course expecting your horse in a handicap to carry, say, 54 or whatever, and then the jock puts up half a kilo or 1 kilo overweight. That's not good for us. It's not good for the horse either. It might take a win or a second place out of her earnings, you know. So no, I think from the time you've engaged the jockey, it's his responsibility to make the weight on race day.
Neil, obviously, definitely, it's his responsibility to make sure he leaves the scale at the correct weight. And then once he passes the saddle over to us, obviously, it's up to us to make sure that everything's fitted correctly. But at the end of the day, he must weigh out correctly. It depends on the horse. If it's a small horse, then you will try and find someone who will carry less dead weight. If it's a big horse that can carry the weight, then it's not a problem. But it is something to consider when you put somebody up.
When you have to weigh in, weigh out, for example, a senior professional as yourself, tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I mean, weighing out, obviously you want to be as close to the mark as you can, I found that in South Africa the clock of scales is a little bit lenient. If you want to be 58.4 or something like that, they'll let you buy and not turn a hair, But in Hong Kong they'll say 0.4, so you expect it to be on the line. It can work both ways for you, because if you sweat off a bit of weight or something like that, you can come back a little bit under. But ideally, the horse will sweat as well, so it should balance things out. But at the end of the day, you want to save everything that you can, so best be on the mark if you can.
Well, there we go. I hope you've enjoyed our very first episode of the Class of Racing. And as you can see for yourself, there's so much more happening behind the scenes in the wonderful world of horse racing. Today we saw what happens in the weighing room with regards to the jockeys. There's still so many more episodes coming through, touching on the various aspects of the world of racing. But what did we learn today? Obviously we learned that it's not over until the fat lady sings. And on this occasion, that is the Clock of Scales.